Hi everybody and welcome back to Sally's Sweet Life. I'm your host Sally and today I'm going to be your yoga teacher and we're going to do a really small sequence all around anxiety. So if this is part of your life and you're anxious and worried a lot of the time, these poses might be really good for you. So let's get straight into it. And you'll notice today I'm just using my rug. I'm not using a yoga mat, so you don't have to either. You can just be on the floor, on the carpet. I'm going to be doing a lot of the poses today laying down. And if you want to, you could use a bolster or a blanket, rolled up blanket, or a little cushion or a pillow or something, just to help with your spinal alignment. And we will actually be needing that first up. So I'm going to grab my bolster and let's get started. When I'm sitting on the bolster, I'm going to show you side on. So I don't want you to sit on the bolster because you may as well just be sitting on the floor. The whole idea is when we're hitching up onto a bolster or a pillow is that you want to slide off and get this tilting of the pelvis, which then beautifully gives me a great spinal alignment into length, which is what we're wanting. So when you get yourself organized with that, make sure with your cushion or your pillow, make sure you're rolling off and actually the pressure comes down into the knees and you should feel quite upright. Perhaps this isn't good for you today and you don't feel comfortable sitting cross-legged. You could easily just sit up against a wall. You could even lay down. Or if you're wanting to, you could straddle a bolster as well. So there's lots of different ways you can do what we're about to do, which is called Nadi pranayama, which is a bit of a mouthful. Nadi means alternate nose breathing and pranayama is breathing. Maybe you've already done this in yoga before or maybe you've never even heard of it. It's an absolutely beautiful practice, but we're changing it slightly for our anxious people out there today, because the way we do it is we breathe in through the left nostril and we breathe out through the right nostril, in through the right, out through the left. Traditional Nadi we breathe in and we hold the breath and then breathe out, but holding or retaining the breath is not so great for people that are a little bit worried and anxious and tense. So we're going to just go with the flow today. So once you're seated and you're feeling upright and tall, you're going to take your right hand and the first two fingers, the pointing finger and the middle finger, don't press, just put them right there against your forehead in between your eyebrows. You're going to pull in really slightly with the pelvic floor. That's the muscles that like hold back when you're going to the toilet, and then pull in a little bit in the navel and drop the chin. So we've got this kind of a locking system through the torso. Back to your right hand. The right thumb is lightly on your right nostril and the ring finger is lightly on the left nostril. So just be here, close your eyes and just take one really deep breath in and out through the nose. And then we will begin our Nadi sequence. So we're going to start first by pressing down the right side of the nostril. Breathe in through the left side and it'll feel like the breath is coming in through a straw, and then switch and breathe out through the right side. Again, breathing in through the right side and breathe out through the left. So everyone has a different breathing rhythm. So I just want you to do this with your natural breathing rhythm, and we're going, that's one full cycle. We'll just do another two. Listening gently to your own breath, really soft around the shoulders. You want to just relax your mind and your body. get more into that later. And the breathing is the fastest and best way to do that. And so after you've finished about 3 full cycles, and you're just finishing the breath by breathing out through the left nostril. We finish the sequence by breathing in through the left nostril one more time. And then breathing out through both nostrils. And it's just such a beautiful practice. You can do every day if you want to, but if you're wanting to incorporate this little sequence in, do about 3 or 4 sequences to begin. So that's Nadi shodhana. It's really beautiful. Okay, let's start to move the body a little bit more in some yoga poses. So I'm going to move my bolster out of the way, and we're coming into a forward fold to begin. So today let's just have your feet underneath your hips. I'm going to turn around to the side for you so you can see. I've got a really nice bend in my legs. Newer people will always look at the floor in a forward fold, Uttanasana. So I just want you to just relax the head fully, bend the knees. I'm hoping you've got maybe a bit of connection of belly to thigh, but if you don't, that's just fine. If your hands don't touch the floor, that's okay. You could get the bolster or get a pillow or a cushion, and then you bring the floor up to you if that makes you feel more supported. Because when we feel supported, it gives us permission to let go. And that's exactly what we want to do here in this pose. And we're taking, this pose is nice for anxiety because it's taking the pressure off your heart. And it's invigorating for your mind. So we're just here, you can close your eyes if you want to, and we're just breathing. You will start to notice, or maybe the first thing you notice is that there is a stretch in the legs. Good, just take one more deep breath in and out. Opening your eyes, lifting your head slightly, walking your hands forward, and then just curtsy down to the floor. Take your time, let the pressure in the head just stabilize. And now we're going to lay back. So if you're suffering from anxiety, anxiety is a fear of the future. It's a fear and a worry of the future, and the need to try to control that. So when we're worried, let's get into the pose and have a chat though, but let's take your arms overhead, and we're just going to lift your legs up towards the roof. Something on my foot. It's still there. Okay. This beautiful pose is called Viparita Karani, which is translated into legs up the wall pose, but we're just doing it, I guess, the lazy way with no wall. When we take the arms overhead, it takes the pressure off the legs, so the legs just suspend beautifully here on their own. If I bring my arms down, my legs pull away, and I have to hold them there. So if you can, bring them up and then just relax through the head and the shoulders. And again, you can close your eyes and just breathe here. It's a semi-inversion. So when we're anxious and a bit worried, what happens is the body goes into this stress response, right? And it's a little bit like a car that you're revving, or you're flooring the accelerator all the time. It's just all the time, it's just revving it. And so what we want to do is take the foot off the pedal and give the engine a bit of a rest, because over time the engine wears and it depletes our energy force if we're anxious all the time. So what these poses do is that maybe you'll feel it immediately, just relaxes you, and it instantly brings you into that relaxed response. That's from the parasympathetic nervous system. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the eye in the corner. I'm going to give you a link to another video I've done that'll tell you all about the stress response and what other effects it does on your body, especially with weight gain. So if that's you, you can have a little look there and look at another video. So we're just here, and maybe you'll start to feel that your feet are feeling a bit funny because all of the blood is beautifully draining and pooling into the pelvis, then into the heart space. Good. Let's just hug your knees into your chest for a moment. Feeling the rush of blood coming back. We're going to roll through your lower back just a little bit, just any way. Just go slow. And then we go back the other way. So nice. Yeah. Feet come down to the floor. We're going to take your knees really wide. Our next pose is called sooth, or sometimes it's just called supine butterfly. We've got our feet together, knees are wide. Arms can be in a few different places. You could have them relaxed down beside you. You could take them out wide if you've got the space. You could again take them up overhead, or even frame your whole face by holding lightly onto your elbows. Now, sometimes in my classes I see people go for this, but they're so tight that they can't take their elbows to the floor, so it looks like this. So what I want you to do is ground wherever that is for you. And yeah, this is another one of those beautiful magic poses that brings you into that relaxed response. That's our natural state, by the way. It's where us human beings are meant to be all the time, but sadly in our lives, in our world, it's normally the other way around. We have this stress response going on, and so obviously if you're at work and you're stressed, you won't be able to maybe do this at the office, and you're like, well, how am I going to use any of this in my everyday life? So what this is all about is I want to teach your body to feel relaxed. And once it starts to feel relaxed repeatedly throughout the day or whenever you can, it'll start searching for that. And all you'll have to do is maybe just take a deep breath, and then you'll know, oh, I'm there, I'm into that feeling again. So we tip the scales from being worried and stressed into being relaxed and a bit more carefree. So healing for your body. All right, let's move on. We're going to bring your knees in, bring your arms back down beside you, separate the feet. I'm going to give you an option of 2 poses now, because the second pose I'm going to show you is pretty out there. The first pose is just a bridge pose, and this is an easier option if you don't want to go into the shoulder stand, which is the second one, which is called Salamba Sarvangasana, which is also a bit of a mouthful. So let's look at bridge first. My feet are hip distance. I can tickle my heels. Can you see that? That's really important alignment. I don't want my feet to be way back there. I want to bring them in so I can just touch them. Then I'm going to angle my toes in just a little bit. Yeah. Whenever we're doing any bridge or a shoulder stand, it's really important for you to keep looking up at the roof. So just trust what you're hearing and listen to my voice. And when you're looking at the roof, we're going to tuck your tail under and drive your hips upward toward the roof, so you feel the floor right up around your shoulders. Naturally, probably what will happen is that your knees will want to pull out, but I want you to pull them in and press your big toe into the floor and squeeze your butt lots. Great stretch in the quads, in the hip flexors. Just lift the chin just a little bit. I want some space around the neck to breathe. And it's quite a fiery pose in the back of the body, but you can feel this incline again, like a semi-inversion, and the blood now is running into the head, and that's what we're wanting. We're wanting to flush it out and just to rebalance and recalibrate the mind. It's quite strong, so come down whenever you feel you need to, and then go back into our supine relaxed position here. So that's an option. That's our bridge pose. The second pose is the shoulder stand. This one is a big pose, and I'm going to be honest, I very rarely do this pose, so I don't do it very well, but I'll talk you through it. BKS Iyengar, who is one of the leaders of yoga in the world, he's passed now, but for a teaching perspective, he really brought a lot of awareness around alignment. He said that this pose is the mother of all poses, because the mother brings peace and harmony to the home. This pose brings peace and harmony to your body and your mind. It is hugely powerful. There are about 20 different things that it does to your body. Relieving constipation, it relieves, it clears up spinal issues, it'll get rid of a headache for you, it's really good for colds and it just goes on and on. It's really great for anxiety as well. So let's go there. Now, I'm going to quickly show you, because you can't see when you're in it, because again, we're going to be looking up at the roof. So just have a little look. Here's how we do it. You're going to lie flat first of all, and point your toes, and then bring your knees in towards your chest. Then I'm going to use the strength of my hands to do a swift movement in and up, and I've just kept my knees bent and I've grabbed my hips. Can you see that? Well, I just bent my head. Hey Terry, I might just get you to come on over here so I don't have to, so I can see everyone. All right, so my fingers are around the back of my pelvis. I'm looking up at the roof, and I'm going to drive my legs up toward the roof. In gymnastics, those beautiful little girls and boys, they do this pose and they call it candlestick. And I love that, because it's like your feet are the flame of the candle. All right, so I've got this amazing amount of pressure, good pressure and good stretching and blood flowing into the head and in around the heart. And that is how we do Salamba Sarvangasana. I'm just going to come down. I'm going to bend my knees, because that takes the pressure off my hands. I'm just going to slide down, and go straight into my butterfly again. And now it's your turn. Maybe you already came up with me, I don't know. So but let's do it together. Now, the reason I don't do it well, is because ideally you want to put, I don't know how they do it, but you want to push your chest right up until it touches your chin. So you have this massive, big, like L shape going on. I'm still working on that, with maybe you are too. So we'll work on it together. So let's tuck in, press the hands down. Remember, we keep looking at the roof, and hoik up, grab the pelvis. And I want you to just take a moment and relax your jaw and relax your mouth. And then drive and pull the legs together really strongly and drive it up. Now again, come down whenever you feel you need to. And try and relax around the mouth. Because Iyengar says, you want to try and stretch this into 5 minutes. Twice a day. I'm going to come out really slowly. And then I'm just going to relax out. So I'm not used to it either. We can learn this one. We can get better at it together. I'm in my beautiful open star pose again. I'm just going to take a couple of breaths there. And then I'm just going to lie flat and bring my arms right next to my body. If you feel more comfortable, you could put a bolster or that blanket right underneath your knees to support your lower back. Closing your eyes, just feeling the effects of that inversion. Coming back into breath, just notice how you're feeling right now. Are you anxious? Are you worried? Good. And we're going to just relax for a little bit here, but I want you to continue, stay with me, and we're still going to start just feeling small things. So as your body lays completely still, just start to bring your awareness to the very top of your head. And see if you can feel the hairs right at the very top of your head, or the skin. Don't visualize it or even think about it. Try and sense it. Try and feel the space up there. And then bring your awareness down to your ears and see if you can relax your ears. That helps to relax your neck. And taking your feeling mind now to the very back of your head, where it touches the floor. Don't think about it, just feel that connection, feel the space that occupies. And then see if you can take your mind inside your head. So you're sensing the space that occupies the inside of your head. Notice how the space here is expansive and empty. Feels empty. Good, we're going to take 3 more breaths here. And starting to take a deeper breath now. Moving your fingers, sweeping your thumb across your fingertips and starting to bring your feet in closer to your hips. Let's hug your knees in. You can keep your eyes closed. A little bit of rolling through your lower back is always nice. Ah, so good. And then we're going to roll over to the right hand side. And then just take a breath here. Just calm and curl. And if you want to, you can open your eyes. That's fine. And then just very slowly coming up into that seated position again, either on the bolster or if you're happy, just on the floor. Sitting really tall, tall spine, relaxed shoulders. Full breath. Let's breathe together. Arms go wide and high. Inhale. Hands meet in prayer. Prayer hands come down. Midline of your body. Thumbs gently kiss in between your eyebrows. And then they slowly come down to your heart space. Keep your eyes closed here. Take a deep breath in. Feel that breath beneath your prayer hands. Beautiful. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here today, everybody, and I hope that helps for you. Subscribe if you haven't, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye.